Hey, what's up everyone? Tech Geek Josh here with a review of the Samsung Galaxy Express 3. The Express 3 features a 4.5-inch Super AMOLED display that has a resolution of 480 this way by 800 and a pixel density of 207, much like the other guy, the Samsung Galaxy Luna. The Express 3 has a 5 megapixel rear autofocus camera that has 720p recording at 30 frames per second, with features like face detection, self-timer, digital zoom, and geotagging. And on the camera settings type of things, we have exposure compensation, ISO control, and white balance presets. And as for the shooting modes, we get burst mode, macro mode, and effects. And as for the front-facing cameras, we get a 2 megapixel shooter. The Express 3 runs Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow and has a quad-core 1.3 GHz Exynos 3475 chipset with 1 GB of RAM, a Cortex A7 CPU, and a Mali T720 GPU. Quadrant has just finished, so now let's go ahead and see what type of scores we got. That's very interesting. This one also says network connection failed. I don't know what's up with that. And I just installed this app, installed Quadrant. So, matter of fact, let me go ahead and try it again. Now that I just have run it again, let's go ahead and see if we get a different result. Is it gonna work now? No. This is interesting. Don't know what's going on with this device and Quadrant. But as for Geekbench, we get a single core score of 406 with a multi-core score of 1168. And we're not on the board for either of them, but that's still a pretty respectable score considering how much this device actually costs. This probably runs very similar to the Galaxy Luna, I would imagine, because they're basically the same phone with slight differences, but not by much. So, not a bad score overall. The Express 3 has 8 GB of built-in storage with around 3.47 GB available to the user, and its storage can further be expanded via the micro SD card slot found on the back over the battery. The Express 3 can support up to a hefty 128 GB SD card, but I currently have a 4 GB card, if I'm not mistaken, in here. It doesn't look like it's reading right now, or I can't find it, but I should have a 4 GB SD card in there. Powering the Express 3 is a pretty good sized 2050 mAh Li-ion battery that has a talk time of 12 hours and a standby time of 10 days. Battery life in my experience has been pretty good so far, and if you caught that previous clip, you could see that I was probably down to 78%. I really wasn't paying too much attention, but 78%, and it's still on its first charge, so it's pretty good, in my opinion. Oh, and while I'm back here, this is where your micro SD card goes. So, apparently, I don't have an SD card in here, but I swear I thought I did, but you see, I do not have any SD card in here. Might have to do something about that later on. Now for the last bit of this review, the gaming test. As always, I download Asphalt Nitro, so I will return once this game is once I have fully set up this game and get all configured. Okay, so let's go ahead and test out the gaming performance on the Express 3. The sound is off, if you guys are wondering. Sure is a nice looking handset though. Reminds me a lot about the Samsung Galaxy J3 for Boost in Virgin Mobile. But that device has a 5-inch screen, if I'm not mistaken. This has a 4.5-inch screen. Taking a sweet time here. Super AMOLED makes everything better, if you know what I'm saying. Let's see if I can stay in frame today on this game. Where'd all my nitrous go? I feel like I'm doing slightly better at staying in frame. And as I'm playing here, you can still play it, but you do notice some frame droppage. As I'm rubbing up against the guardrail. Now, at this point, I'm literally looking at the camera screen and trusting it. Trusting that I'm playing correctly. But apparently I'm doing worse now that I'm looking at the camera screen. Seem to be tilting more to the left. But like I just mentioned, you do notice a little bit of frame droppage, but it's still very playable. And I cannot drive apparently when I'm looking at my camera screen. It's actually quite bad. Okay, I give up. I'm gonna look back at the actual phone screen. Well, I continue to stay on that drift. Oh wow, that's actually pretty good. I'm in second place this time. Alright, now going back home. It's pretty fast. The apps do take a quick second to load back up, but for the most part it's actually really responsive and really fast. Even though it only has 1 GB of RAM. I did not mean to open that app. But yeah, like I just said, for the most part it's pretty fast. It does slide around everywhere if you're not careful, especially on a surface like this. And as for all the AT&T apps, I have successfully disabled all of them. Mostly, except for Usage Manager. Full screen, I found out, is not an actual app. If I did mention it in my unboxing, which I probably didn't, if I can tap on the app, it'll just take me to the Play Store to download that app. But I don't see the need to, well, not download, but apparently upload, or update, or open. So that's not an actual app. Well, I mean, it is, but I don't see myself using it in the future. But that pretty much sums up the review of the Samsung Galaxy Express 3. And I'll see you guys in my next video.